The member from Kitchener-Waterloo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Acting Premier. The Liberal government has decided that Ontarians concerned about the government's changes to autism therapy will face serious limitations on their ability to purchase non-partisan advertisements. But the government can spend as much as it wants before an election campaign and during an election campaign. Why is the government putting limits on what concerned parents can say while giving the Liberal government free rein to advertise as much as it wants?
I think that there is a consensus in this province that we need to make changes to political fundraising. I think there is a strong consensus that we should actually make some important changes, including banning corporate donations, union donations, and so on. So we are moving forward with changes. We have invited all parties to participate before that legislation was even introduced, Speaker, and it's highly unfortunate that the third party has chosen not to attend meetings. I was very pleased, though, to hear last week that they have come forward with some ideas on what are the changes we need to make, but we are really hoping that we're going to be able to move forward together to make the changes that the people of this province expect us to make.
Thank you.
Again to the Acting Premier. Last year, your government created a new loophole in the Government Advertising Act. Ontario's non-partisan Auditor General said this loophole would gut the province's landmark law prohibiting partisan government advertising. The AG continued, and I quote, "These changes would allow the government to spend public dollars on partisan advertising with little of the current independent oversight. Why is the Liberal government putting strict limits on non-partisan public interest groups like the Ontario Autism Coalition and no limits on partisan government ads?"
Speaker, Ontario is the first and only jurisdiction in Canada and one of the very few in the world to enact legislation that bans government-paid partisan advertising in newspapers, in magazines, radio, and on television, Speaker. And we passed this historic legislation because we are against government using taxpayer dollars for partisan advertising. If you remember back to 2003, prior to the last election, you will remember examples of partisan advertising by taxpayers when the then Premier of the day appeared in advertisements paid by the taxpayer. We banned that, Speaker. We remain committed to banning that. So you will find that Ontario remains one of the very few jurisdictions in the world to ban partisan advertising.
Thank you.